Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Marilyn. Now when I first started doing sublimation, I was very confused about what paper to use. So on today's video, I'm going to compare several sublimation papers as well as plain copy paper and show you the results. Now here's what I have. The first two I actually paid for, Koala Brand and A-Sub. And then I've received these papers to try out. I have Printer's Jack with the pink background, and then I have Printer's Jack with the blue, and it's not a background, it's on the back, so the blue back. Then lastly, I received this Hippo paper to try out. So I filmed my video 2 days ago, and I had an issue with this paper. And as I was editing my video, I realized I think I know what the issue is. It had nothing to do with the paper. It had to do with my print settings. And I am really glad that I tried some other settings that work because the color on this is gorgeous. So if you're interested in seeing how these papers compare or what I did to fix my issue with this paper, keep watching the video. Now, as always, I'll put links in the video description to these products on Amazon. Now, I'm going to take a moment to go over each of these. But I really don't care so much what they look like before pressing them. Really, where the proof is in the pressing. But let me show you what we're going to compare. And I've kind of arranged them from the lightest to what I think is the darkest. Again, that may not be the way they turn out in the press, but that's how I've arranged them here. Now, I watch a YouTuber that said using just regular old paper is great. So I did put my designs on plain paper. It's hard to see what it says because it's all mirrored, but it's plain paper. So this is just your regular multi-purpose paper. It's not sublimation paper at all. Then this is Printer's Jack, and it's the blue type. Then the next one is a favorite of mine, Koala Brand sublimation paper. It's the first sublimation paper I ever tried. Next I have Printer's Jack sublimation paper in the pink box. And the back of this is pink as well. Now my understanding is that the pink boxed paper is a newer version and an update from the blue box paper. Next I have A-Sub. Now this A-Sub is actually 8.5 by 14. It's the only size of A-Sub I have. And then the last one is Hippo Brand. And at least before pressing, this seems to be the darkest. Now the A-Sub is very, very close. And I know on camera it's going to be extremely difficult to distinguish between these, but there are a few differences. So here's what I printed using the exact same settings for each of these. I printed a blue, red, black and yellow rectangle, and then I printed this beautiful sunflower design, and I printed it twice. I'm going to print one of these on fabric and one on a hard substrate. Now, other than the color differences, the only thing that I really notice on these that I want to point out is on the Hippo paper, the black tended to bleed a little bit. The other colors come out very crisp, but the black bleeds a little bit. I'll move this closer to the camera. Hopefully you can see it. Now granted, the only color I've seen that happen on is the black, but that is a little concerning to me. The other thing is, maybe you noticed the little track marks from the wheels that feed your paper through the printer. Again, the main color that happened on was the black, and we'll see how that presses out. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to print all the rectangles and one set of the flower images on this 100% polyester fabric. And then I'm going to print the small flower image from each of the brands on this canvas board. Now this canvas board has been coated with a thin lamination film, and that will take the sublimation beautifully. So let's move to the heat press and let's see what happens. So I'm going to start with the plain paper and the Printer's Jack blue. Okay, hopefully you can see that's the printer's jack with the blue back. And then that's just the plain multi-purpose paper. So I can immediately rule out using that again. Now the printer's jack, that looks really nice. So the next two I'll try are the Koala Brand and then the printer's jack with the pink back. Now the Koala Brand, apparently I had it a little bit off the pad, and that didn't get a full press. So we're going to judge it by the parts that had the full press. Now the last two presses for the rectangles that I have is the Hippo and the A-sub. Now we'll take a closer look at those at the end of the video. I want to move on to the flowers, but I'm going to start with the flowers that I put on my hard substrate, so my canvas board with the lamination film. Now I'll show you this when I sit back down at the table. I'm going to go ahead and do the last flowers once I find another piece of polyester, and we'll go over all the results. Alright, let's sit down and check these all out. So here's the results on the rectangles, and obviously the plain paper's out. Now the problems with the Koala Brand, that was my fault. I didn't have pressure at the top or the side. So really you need to be looking right here, and those colors look nice. Now I have the printer's jack pink and the printer's jack blue side by side. And for me, the printer's jack blue came out richer and deeper and darker. It is so hard to catch a lot of this on camera and to really see the difference, but I'll hold that up, maybe you can see. They are very close. I see just a slight difference with the blue paper being a little bit better. They both have excellent results. Then at the bottom we have the A-sub and the Hippo. Now once again I can tell I didn't have full pressure over here. I didn't have it in the right place on the press. So we're going to judge it from here over. Those are really nice colors as well. To me, the A-sub, the Hippo, the printer's jack pink, and the Koala look very, very similar. Now the Hippo has good color, but I do have some track marks that go through it. Alright, let's look at the flowers on the fabric. Okay, I can rule out the plain paper instantly. Here's my printer's jack pink back, blue back, then my Hippo, my Koala, and my A-sub. Now to look at these, because this is a shiny material, I went ahead and turned off that overhead light. I can't tell a distinguishable difference between any of them except for this plain paper. All of the brands that I used did excellent on this canvas board. Now, I filmed my video yesterday, and when I started editing it today, I decided to do a little research. I was frustrated from the roller marks, And I thought that could be caused by two things. One, either there's too much ink being laid down, and so it doesn't have time to dry and it's getting dragged on the rollers, or two, my image was printing out too quickly and also didn't give it enough time to dry. So I made two adjustments. On my Mac, I went into System Preferences, Printers and Scanners. I found my Sublimation printer, and then I went to Options. What I found was my printer was on high-speed printing, so I turned off that feature to slow it down. The second thing I did was I changed from using high-quality printing to normal printing. That would decrease the amount of ink being laid down on my paper. So I printed out my design again on the Hippo paper. I pressed it, and look! My blue's a little more vibrant, and my black is darker and richer. Plus, those drag lines are gone. So if you're having issues with your printer and your sublimation projects, play around with the settings, try different things. You can probably figure out a way to make it work well. Thanks so much for joining me and sticking it out till the end. Until my next video. Bye-bye. Okay. Alrighty.